most of us live in this country and not settled. And this is the best time to maximize our potential.
Yeah.
And I remember when I saw you dancing on TV. I don't think you'll be dancing like this when you're 70. Well, we hope so.
We hope so, yeah.
But this is, you realize even your stamina changes with age.
Of course.
So if you don't maximize your potential now, where else?
So why did you come here then? To Germany first?
I always make this joke with Germans. I tell them I wanted to see the snow. Because you don't know.
How long ago was that?
About
Tell us without telling us how old
23
you are.
years.
Ate?
Look how shocked he is.
No. I came when it was very hot.
Summer.
The streets were very clean and there were no people. So I was like, okay, I thought Germany is a densely populated country where the people.
I know. How were you paying that?
With the au pair money.
How much money were you earning?
I can't remember. But again, I said, my family said, don't.
She was not sending money anywhere.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, but still, I was paying 200 euros for the one course.
No,
and I was
but
earning
then the courses
260.
were not
That's
so.
23 years ago, boy.
Yeah. The courses were. The courses were not.
Weren't you advised to get married ASAP?
I was. Yes, I was. What happened? Yes, I remember.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, when does this story
Yes.
come?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to your favorite Conversations Far From Home Diaspora Conversations podcast. We are glad once again to be here, talking to you like always. Thank you for your comments, for your love, for your likes. I have seen you sharing the podcast with your grandmothers, with your aunties, with your uncles, with everybody. And thank you for that. And thank you for your comments too. It's nice to know that even when we are having these conversations here, Wamboy and I, and when we have a guest, that somebody's watching, and that is what we get when you comment and show us some love, and also tell us, what you think about our conversations, and also, comment about the topic we are talking about. And today, we are so honored. We have a guest once again, one that has come from 1,200 kilometers away. One boy, Introduce our guest today.
I am going to introduce myself first. Hello,
Sorry,
everybody.
I am Carol, your host. Sorry, but you know me nowadays.
And one boy, your other host. And I'm equally glad to be back, and I'm equally excited to have our guest. Let me tell you a small short story about our guest before we start, because I think she is the reason why you and I actually know each other.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this guest, one day she called me to interview me, and we were talking about education back then. And she's done amazing things. She has helped so many people in terms of academia to get some education, but also encouraging so many people who are here. And she is, when we talk about diaspora and does life in diaspora work, and what do we do in the diaspora when life is not working, if you have one of those questions, she is our expert today. And I've seen her talking even to university professors, and she's been doing great things. So our guest, as you can see, is Carol. And Carol, we are honored that you're here today. Thank you for the work you continue doing. And maybe tell us about yourself a bit.
Wow. Thank you so much for the honor, for the introduction, Carol and Wamboi. I am Caroline Mwangi. For me, Njoki.
This lady, I have to interrupt Kidogo and say, we've known each other for so long. I always feel like she's my sister, like she grew up with me, but we met today for the first time personally.
Are you sure?
We've met for the first time today.
You don't say?
Yes.
How is this possible?
And we've been talking every time when we talk on the phone, it's Jockey, Vito. So Caroline Jockey Mwangi. And there, sorry.
Yes, the official names are Caroline.
And there,
Caroline, what is on my ID. But of course, I embrace my Kikuyu name, Njoki, and because that is what makes us to be who we are. And yes, who am I? I wear many hats. I'm a mother of two. I have two girls, Washeke and Waringa. I am happily married, and I come from Kenya, central Kenya. And I live in Germany, in the south, Nürnberg. I don't know whether you've been to Nürnberg before. Please come and eat some nice German sausages.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
far, far
I
away.
know
And
them.
we have the
Weisswurst?
best.
Is that where you have Weisswurst?
Die
No,
Brat,
that's the Bayern. That's Bayern.
It's not the same thing.
No. This
is.
klein,
die Bratwürste, die
yeah.
kleine Bratwürste.
Yeah, the one you get
Bratwürste.
for breakfast.
Yes.
Mostly.
Oh.
Yeah, the Nürnberger Bratwurst.
Nürnbergers, yeah.
Yes. We have also, let me also embrace the German culture a bit because I've lived there for many years. We also have a very nice Lebkuchen. Yeah. We have, Nürnberg has the largest Christmas market worldwide. So wonderful. place.
Worldwide?
Yes. Yes.
So,
Wow.
Carol, I think we're going to visit her during the Christmas period
Yes,
to go to the Christmas market.
We should do that.
And to our listeners who are in Kenya, in the Christmas market here it's really worth a trip. You get to drink hot wine for those who like drinking alcohol.
Yes.
and
With
other things.
spices, yeah. It's called Glühwein. For those who do.
Yeah.
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 And yes, I work part-time here. I am a business administrator by profession. And besides that, we have a wonderful network. It's actually a company, but we say in a summary, is the academic home for Kenyan professionals in Germany. Because it's a home where people find aunties, uncles to work with them through their academic journey. We find psychologists, we have teachers, we have also mothers who are there to inspire other mothers. So it's basically a complete home where you can get the social support and also the academic support.
Wow.
And I
That
have
is
definitely
amazing.
I've definitely met some aunties there as well
Yeah.
in Career Hub. And we are surely going to be talking a little more about the Career Hub in the course of this conversation. But before we dive into all that, you've talked a little bit about embracing German culture and calling Nürnberg home. And in our conversation, every guest who comes here, we always ask them the same question. What does home mean for you, and where is home?
Let me first start by acknowledging what you people are doing. It's
Thank you.
fantastic, fantastic work. And I remember when we spoke with Waivira, I'm going to use that. Yesterday we had a wonderful Kikuyu cultural activity
yeah.
at in a restaurant in Ashbourne by Jill. Jill, if you're watching us, hoot up. And Joki Dikalo, this old lady who is
Dikaro.
promoting the
Yeah.
Kikuyu culture. Hoot up, wherever you're watching us from. And
She watches. I know that.
Yeah.
Mama Carol watches.
when Waivera called me, we first laughed. The first thing we do, we laugh for like 2 minutes.
Yes. That's true.
To laugh with her.
The first thing we say is Jockey, why there? And then we laugh.
Yeah, we just laugh. Yeah.
just like
we
that.
laugh.
And then she told me you're doing this with Wambui. So I could relate because I saw Wambui and I was like, wow, we need to showcase these stories. And I met Carol and I was like, wow, something else showing that we can also run restaurants in this country. So the very good job that you're doing, and I love the laughter. It's actually another home.
Yeah.
It's part of, that's what I'm talking about. It's another academic home, away from home, where people can talk about their stories. You laugh, the atmosphere is very nice, you really feel at home. So yeah, that brings me to the question. Yes, I think having lived here for so many years, there's a decision that I made that this is where I am. So I have to maximize the best of the situation where I am, because I think home is where you really feel you're at home, you're settled. So I would say I am settled because this is where I am now, and I don't want to live in a transition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like most people live in transition, waiting.
Yes.
They're saying, I will enjoy life when I go back to Kenya, I go to the UK. If one we get a chance to go to the US, then I will enjoy life.
Canada.
Canada.
Yeah. Something somewhere else. Just somewhere else. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're home
I'm
here.
home. Yes.
Oh, wow.
That
That's
is good.
amazing. That's really
As I wait for the next home to settle.
Yeah. But do
I'm
you
not sure.
feel like you have two homes? Do you feel like Kenya is home?
Yes, we have
and
two
Germany is
homes.
home.
Germany is home. I would say I'm settled here.
Okay.
And that's also something, actually, a message we need to pass over to many people out there, because most of us live in this country and not settled. And this is the best time to maximize our potential.
Yeah.
And I remember when I saw you dancing on TV. I don't think you'll be dancing like this when you're 70. Well, we hope so.
We hope so. Yeah.
But this is, you realize even your stamina changes with age.
Of course.
So if you don't maximize your potential now, where else?
Yeah, that's true.
So try to work in that environment you are in. See why you're there, because I believe God brought us all here.
Yeah.
Why did we board that flight to come all the way to Germany, not to Gambia or Gabon or South Africa or to Nyeri?
Yeah.
Nyeri Matwine. Yeah.
True.
Why are we here?
That's I find that very interesting and fascinating, and as advice to our many people, because I know this feeling. I had that in the beginning when I came to Germany. This feeling of Kenya is home, and this is where I'm living. And for the longest time, I used to say I am going home when I was going to Kenya, and when I was coming back, I was always saying I'm going back to Germany. So the word home didn't exist for Germany, for me, until I got my kids. And I remember that moment very, very well. I was with my daughter in Kenya. She was about 7 months old. And I told my sisters, I have to pack my things because we are going home tomorrow. And that was so conscious. I became so conscious of that moment because for me, after 3 years, Germany had become home. And yeah, I feel like I am home now. And we talk a lot about this. It's also moments. It's also moments where this now feels like home. When we sit here, it feels like home. There are moments when I'm Kenya and I feel home. There are also moments when I'm in Kenya and I feel out of place.
Yeah.
And this feeling of home is not there. So I think it's also the environment you create for yourself.
That's true. That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted to mention. I think you need to create that environment where you feel, well, I need to really make this like I'm home. Because like when we go to Kenya, we also feel at home. Yeah, we really like try to fit in, which we do. We grew up there.
Yeah.
And of course, you find some settings where like, oh, okay, well, you think very German because you have also lived here for so long.
Exactly.
But I think also in terms of settling in what we are doing, I think we must find that space where we call home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe find a friend you speak Kuyu with.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Or maybe move to a city where you feel, or at least I know a neighbor who I can easily identify with. Or maybe do something that will make you feel at home. There are many settings, there are many homes.
And I feel like it's also allowing yourself to be home here. Because for me, that definitely was the case. I had to allow myself to be home here. Because I think if all the time I was here, I thought I'm going back. And of course, I go back at one point. But it was a very conscious decision to allow myself to be here now and not to think all the time that I'm going to leave. And because I think I'm going to leave, I don't put pictures on my walls. I take apartments that I know I'm not here to stay, basically. So everything I was doing was saying
Nothing permanent.
Everything was there to be taken away with me. And actually the other day I bought myself a big plant, plant. Yeah. A place where you put inside a plant. It's quite big. And it was the first time I actually did that because it was the first time that I thought, I think I'm going to stay in this house for a while.
Oh, wow.
Because all the other times I buy smaller ones,
which you can take with you.
It's easier to take them, you know.
Oh, wow.
But if it's a big one,
You're on transit.
I'm on transit all the time in my mind, you know.
Yeah,
So it is a psychological journey. So why did you come here then to Germany first?
I always make this joke with Germans. I tell them I wanted to see the snow. Because we don't have a lot of snow.
Did you put cotton wool on Christmas trees? That was
we did, but we didn't really know the meaning of putting
What? You are the only one who didn't do that. We did.
Why? Why did you
Why?
do that?
It was snow.
I've never seen that.
That was our snow. Without knowing that it was snow, we were just putting cotton wool on Christmas trees. Yeah.
Oh,
so you
Lord.
came to see the snow? No.
I came. No, I didn't come. I was shocked to see the snow. Anyway, my uncle, Mr. Kimani, if you're watching us, also shout out to you. he is the wife is a sister to my mom. So Mr. Kimani was in Berlin, came here and studied in Berlin, and then went back to Kenya. So he came up with a concept. He knew a few systems here of how you can go to Germany. And because I love kids so much, he said, why don't you go to Germany and do the au pair program, which also one boy came through the same program.
Yeah.
And that's how I came to Germany. And I was in a small family in Baden-Württemberg. Rita, if you're watching us, Rita and Joseph, wonderful family.
Yeah.
They actually took 6 au pairs from Kenya after I left. They were very happy with me.
Wow.
So I was in Schwabenland.
Schwabele.
Schwabele. Mädle. Yeah, so that was my first contact to Germany. Yes, through the au pair program. Yeah.
And you were here for 1 year.
I was here for 1 year, yes. So those days when you used to come, things were quite difficult. You couldn't like switch your visa to a student visa just like that. There were a lot of limitations. You couldn't do like now people switch to do FSY.
Yeah. What one?
Like what I did.
How long
Yes.
ago was that?
About
Tell us without telling us how old
23
you are.
years.
Ate?
Look how shocked she is. She's
Many things have changed.
23 years ago.
Yeah.
Wait,
Things
how
were
old,
difficult.
how old are you?
Wait, wacha maswali ingine.
I'm 28.
I believe you.
No, those days were really difficult. And like I remember, I couldn't speak a word of German when I came because I was not serious I'm going to come. I knew.
And that was not a requirement during that time?
No, it wasn't a requirement. You only need to have a two-way ticket, a return ticket.
You were not required to learn
No,
German
you
in
didn't,
Kenya?
yeah.
What?
Wow. Yeah, things changed.
Things changed, yeah.
Yeah.
So when my uncle told me I could go to to do au pair, I never ever thought of leaving the country because I never saw anyone in our family go out of the country. So I was like, well, we didn't have money. My parents were teachers, so like, okay, so how do I even go to this country? And then they did applications, and then I received a call from Mr. Joseph Ockel. And I nearly collapsed because I thought, oh God, I don't speak German. He tried to teach me the language because he speaks the language, but I never took it serious. So, and so when I received the call, then I knew, okay, well, yeah, now it's serious. And then my uncle told me, don't worry, he speaks English. So we spoke. But even up to the airport, until I came, I was ready to go back. I said, if they don't pick me, I'm going back.
You're going back?
I'm going back. I'm not this type that was so excited to come
About
to Europe.
coming to Europe.
Oh, I'm going to Europe. No, I was just like, if they don't come, I'll go back.
So what is the first thing that, let me use the word shocked you, or what culture shock? What was the first thing
Oh,
for
many
you?
things. Oh, many things.
The snow?
No. I came when it was very hot.
Summer.
The streets were very clean and there were no people. So I was like, okay, I thought Germany is a densely populated country where the people.
I know.
So it was quite empty. I was in a small village.
Yeah.
And then the orderliness in this country. And I remember
The streets are clean. The roads are clean.
the roads are clean.
Yeah.
And there's no garbage and the cars are new. I didn't see old cars. I didn't see old taxis. That was another shock at the airport. Oh, waiting for those, we have sometimes back home, we have some old taxis.
Yeah.
Seeing a new Mercedes-Benz, which is a taxi. So that shocked me and among many other things that shocked me. And I came during summer when it was very hot. So people were very naked. So I was like,
And we're not talking about naked, so scantily dressed.
I was scantily dressed
Yeah,
up. So that shocked me because I'm coming from a very conservative environment. And here I am like, yeah.
Did you grow up in a Christian
I
family?
grew up, yes, I grew up in a normal setup. I'm the only girl. I have 5 brothers, the eldest. So you can imagine.
Conservative.
I would say not conservative. I would just say a normal family setup. Parents are teachers, so teachers were known to be, disciplinarians, but I wouldn't say they didn't give us the freedom to. Not this environment. You're like, I don't want to go back home, or I don't want to raise my children this way. No,
Okay.
good values. Let me put it this way. Yeah. Like all my brothers can cook.
Really?
Wow. I'm impressed.
That's amazing.
Well, my brothers can cook. My mom used to distribute work equally. She doesn't care.
Yeah.
You do this.
Everybody is
Yeah,
doing this.
all of them.
Not
Yeah.
not girls are here to
No,
cook and
So
fagia
that's how I
and all
grew
that.
up.
Yeah.
And I remember there's a time my mom was away for training. My dad used to cook for us, which is very unusual. Those
That
days.
is very
which also
unusual.
makes the boys learn because
Yeah.
they see their dad is doing that,
Yeah.
so it's normal for
Yeah.
them to do the
Yeah,
work.
yeah, yeah.
Because we learn from what we see.
Yeah.
So if you see your dad only sits in the living room with a newspaper
Yeah.
and does nothing,
No, that's
so
not
that
the,
is what
that's
the
not
boys
the
learn.
image we saw, definitely. And you can see a lot of, even now, like, and they were like, you go out. And remember when I was coming to Germany, my dad told me, go and grow. Don't grow and start thinking about us, thinking about sending money home. And those are very few statements we hear from parents.
You rarely hear that.
Really?
Wow.
Even now, up to now, they will never call me to ask for money.
You grow.
I'm
No black
grateful.
tax. No black tax.
You just
That's
grow.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I remember when we got married, my dad said, "Nitwakire muciĩ witũ inyuĩ mwake wanyu." Like,
We have built our
We
own
build our
home.
home now.
Go and build
go
your
build
own.
your home.
Wow, I just love that because it's this form of releasing you to go, and hence you can also feel released, and also maybe that's why it's easy for you, maybe not easy, but like this decision was clear for you to stay here because you were sort of
You were
given the
released.
permission, you were released.
No, it was not easy for them to release their only daughter to go to
Of
another
Yeah, but
course,
still,
yeah.
but still, they
But
were
still,
showing you.
they said,
we want you to
"Just
be
go."
independent.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
go. Yeah.
Not many people do that, and it makes a difference if people home release you.
Yeah.
Then you do get to grow.
Yeah.
Which in turn is better for everybody, even
Yeah.
people home.
Yeah, but also that issue of you don't have to send us money, which is
Yeah.
not very normal because when
not.
you come, Maju, when you come to
Yeah.
living
have other
abroad,
expectations,
People
that's
have
true.
expectations, whether they have money or not.
Yeah.
Many,
Yeah.
because definitely when you're here, everybody expects you're swimming in money.
Yeah.
And that is so. How did it go after that? You're finished with your year of.
I finished with my
FSJ?
year. I learned
Not
German,
FSJ,
and I was very
au pair.
disappointed that I could not understand the Schwäbische Leute because they were speaking another dialect.
Yeah.
I could not understand the bus drivers. When I got into the trains, they're like next heute. I was just like, what are they saying?
I still can't understand them to this day, and I speak German.
Yeah, but you were learning your German there or not?
No, I know I never spoke a word of German before I came.
Yeah.
So I learned the German here. So
Yeah.
what I did, and maybe I could also mention that because there are people who might are watching us and they're struggling with the language. So what I did not speak the language before I came. And the family, the kids were born in Dubai, so they were speaking English. That's the advantage that I had. But still, like when we go out, I couldn't understand what Germans were saying. So it's always nice when you have the language skills. So what I did, I have an auntie here, sister to Mr. Kimani Njeri Kenyanji, if you're watching us, so shout out, who said, look, you have to do an intensive German course so that at least you can advance your language. So I used to combine two modules, like you're doing the A2, A1 and B1
At the same time.
at the same time.
Why not do A1 and A2?
Because I didn't have time. I needed to make sure I do this Deutsch as Fremdsprache certificate within 1 year. So what I did, I did the A1 in class, and I also booked like an evening course for B2, B1, which was quite difficult, and I got a private tutor.
How were you paying that?
With the au pair money.
How much money were you earning?
I can't remember. But again, I said, my family said, don't
She was not sending money anywhere.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah, but still, I was paying 200 euros for the one course.
No,
and I
no,
was
by
earning
then the
260.
courses were not
That's
so.
23 years ago, Amboy.
Yeah. The courses were the courses were not so expensive. But I remember this private tutor, I paid quite some money. So I said, I'm going to sacrifice my au pair salary. My host family also helped a bit.
Ah, okay.
But I was really committed to learning the language by all means, yeah. Because my plan was after the au pair, I joined uni here. But I didn't know that I needed to meet
do the
other
language.
requirements. So yeah. So then after 1 year, also something else that this family did, they opened for me a savings account.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So they said, don't spend all the money. I loved going to Mueller's and this drogeries, and I was just like fascinated about the earrings and the lotions, and so they said, don't spend all your money.
In Muller's.
So
Muller is where you can buy makeup, perfume, and such things.
Yeah. So they split my salary, my small salary, and some of the money could go to the savings account, and the other one I got. So
Wow.
My guest parents also did that. So Schneider's, thank you.
Oh,
I
wow.
still have a saving account today
I still
because
have
of my
that
guest
book.
family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really amazing.
Yeah. So that also helped me to have some security in because I didn't manage to stay here. So I tried to do Ausbildung, or the apprenticeship program, in a hotel, because I loved my passion was in food. But I was denied the work permit. They said no, you can't stay here. So I tried with the help of my auntie Jerry Kenyanjui to join another program to train as a stewardess. It didn't work out. So they denied me the work permit. And I tried uni. I didn't meet the grade required. So the only option was to go back home or to...
So all these things you're trying while you're doing the au pair program?
All these things I'm trying within 1 year.
Oh, wow.
I gave it all. But I also had very good backup. My uncle was helping out. My auntie was also helping out. And my host family was also very supportive. I think that also helped to make things easier. Yeah.
But you didn't get it?
No. I didn't get anything. So I said, well, God, you have a plan for me. I was not chased home. And
You must have had a lot of faith. Weren't you advised to get married ASAP?
Here's a quick one to tell you about our sponsors, TDX Media. I've been working with TDX Media for about 5 years now, and this has saved my life, literally saved my life. TDX Media has a way of helping you to optimize your office work. So I am a very chaotic person. My office was looking like you can imagine it. And then TDX Media came, and they really helped me to optimize the processes, especially the processes of how I work, what should happen when, they came and advised me. They came and sorted out most of my files and all that, because I am not that. And then my website, it's beautiful because it is being maintained, it is being serviced by TDX Media. And then the CEO of the company, Christian Tiedemann, who does all that, comes to you, advises you, he talks to you, he listens to your needs, and then crafts everything according to how you need it, but adding his professionalism in everything that he does, such that at the end of it all, and he will not use anything he doesn't think is okay for the person visiting your website. So if your photos are not good enough, then he'll not put them in. And that is the level of professionalism that I need when I'm working with someone, so that they just don't do everything I tell them to do. They tell me, okay, it's your website, but it has my name on it. So he will not do anything that is not professional enough. And the other thing is event management. Guys, these guys are so organized. TDX Media is so organized. They have taken control and over. They organize our African festival, which happens every year. So I have nothing to do with it. The first year I organized it myself. I almost went crazy. And nowadays I just get calls, or when we're talking, it's a yes, no, and I have nothing to do with it. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. I love working with these people. I love the way they, present themselves in a way that is, I will talk about professionalism the whole time, because that is what they are. They are professionals. And you see that in everything they do. When they're doing consultations with you, they are very specific in everything that they're doing. You can only be satisfied when you're working with TDX Media. And I'm so glad that I have trusted us now to sponsor our podcast. And I've been working with them all this time, satisfied with their work. I'll continue working with them. So please visit their website, www.tidix.de. That's www.tidx.de. Visit them, because you'll be doing yourself a favor. Thank you so much.
I was. Yes, I was. What happened? Yes, I remember.
Yeah, because I'm wondering when does this story
Yes.
come?
Yeah. I forgot to mention that. So also something else that really helped me. I'm a person of faith. So my mom told me, wherever you go, look for a church. And so when I came here, of course, Sunday, I said, I want to go to church. They looked at me and said, number one, well, we'll see whether there's a church here. I was in a village. So they took me to the church, and I was very dressed up like a church girl going to church. And I got the shock of my ear because it was an old church. We were about, I don't know, maybe 50 people or 20 people. Most of them were old people. And of course, I did not understand a word of German. So I said, well, I came out a bit confused because I was like, this is how churches look like in this country. And so I went home. I was like, okay, let me
There's
wait.
no singing and praising and...
Yeah, and I also didn't understand anything because I couldn't speak the language. So I went home and I said, well, I went to church. I never really bothered much because there were so many other things that were bothering me, the language, the kids, I don't know what else. So on Tuesday, this following week, 2 ladies came. And they said, oh, yeah, we've been sent here by the Farah. What is a Farah?
Pastor.
The vicar of the church. That is, there's someone here from an African country. And if the person is interested, they can be coming to our youth meetings every Tuesday. So that was my church for 1 year.
Nice.
So Tanya, Fiddler, and the other Tanya, they used to pick me up every Tuesday. We could go for hikes with this group. So I also learned a lot of culture, but I remained in faith. And there were Germans who were committed to practice their faith. And I remember there's a time we went for a conference, a Christian conference. So there were very nice Germans who had very good values. So that also helped me to not to get into this confusion. But towards the end, of course, I got this advice, you can get married here or you can stay here without papers. But at the back of my mind, remember, I was still strong in my faith. I said, there must be a reason why I'm going back home.
So it was not an option for you?
No, I didn't.
You
I
did not-
never even gave
You did not
it a thought.
consider it?
No. I remember when I was coming to Germany, I said, if they don't pick me up,
I'll go back.
I'll go back.
So you
And
came
I'm
here
that
with the option
person
of going back.
Yeah, and I'm that person of, if this doesn't work, I will not force things. I always believe there must be a way out. So why are all these doors being, I applied to like 100 universities. They all refused me. Ausbildung. So it's like, even if I stay here, what can I do? If all these options have not worked.
You better go home.
And Kevi gari mire doma.
Arrowroot. Doma is arrowroot for those listening. It's very delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you went back home, what did you go to do?
My
Did you
parents were
start-
very happy.
Yeah.
But of course, most of the people were like, why are you going back home?
Why are you here?
Even here, I left people asking me, why? I looked like a mad woman, like I didn't know what I'm doing. So what I didn't share my plans with anyone.
Yeah.
Only God knows. So I went back home, and because I had some money, I opened an account with Barclays. So I put my money there, and I enrolled myself for German language courses. I said, well, it's always good to learn the language. You never know.
You had not learned enough here?
I had in land, but I just wanted to continue.
Okay.
And then I was like, I must find a job in this country. So my host family gave me some contacts to a German hotel in Kenya. So I said, when I go to Kenya, let me trace Germans because I'm sure there's some Germans in Kenya and see what I can do. Before I came, I had done secretary, so I'm very good in typing. My typing skills are very good and had done computers. So I went to this hotel, which I was given the contacts by my host mom, Hotel Boulevard, and I spoke to the owner then and told him I want to do an Ausbildung. So he looked at me like, bist du verrückt? I said, so he told me, this system is only in Germany, not here. He was Austrian and the wife was German.
Ausbildung, the way we know Ausbildung here, apprenticeship, that is not in Kenya.
So I told him, I've been sent by this family or this friend. It was through a friend, and they should give me. I was full of confidence. You have no idea. This 1 year changed me. So I told them, ich suche eine Ausbildung. So he looked at me wondering, where are you from? And I'm speaking German to him. So he said, come in 4 weeks' time. We don't have an Ausbildung, but maybe a training position. I said, okay. So I call him after 2 weeks. He told me, I told you to
told
call me
you
after
4
4 weeks. No, when I left, I told him I'll call you after 2 weeks,
Yeah.
because I told myself, if he tells me to call him after 4 weeks, there must be something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have told me, no, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
So I called him after 2 weeks. He made noise. He said, I told you to call me after 4 weeks. I said, but I told you I'll call you after 2 weeks. Kabisa hartnäckig. Then he told me, call me after 2 weeks. I said, okay. That afternoon he called me, said, come next week, we have some opening.
3 weeks later.
So within 4 weeks after I went back to Kenya, I had a training position in a hotel in the back office.
Wow.
I'm just wondering, how did the people in Kenya receive you?
I didn't care how they received me.
Wow.
Did you feel like there was a difference in how they were treating you before and after you came back?
They looked shocked, like they felt like they have spent so much money sending me abroad. But then I told myself, nobody knows my story.
Yeah.
And even if I tell them 100 and a million times, unless they are here, they will never understand my story. So I said, I'm here. Something must work out. So I wasn't bothered about their reaction.
But what was the plan in your head?
My plan was to get into the hotel industry in Kenya and train.
And stay in Kenya?
Yeah, and stay in Kenya, yeah. Because I had tried all options here.
Okay.
So I didn't see why would I come back here. Nothing had worked.
I'm really impressed at so much insight back then. After 1 year in Germany, I cared so much about what people said. And for me, going back would have felt like a failure because I knew people would look at me and say, you see, she went to Maju. She didn't come back with money. She didn't come back with language. She's now back with nothing.
Nothing.
So didn't you have a moment of, I'm just impressed because I think this took years for me to be like, this is my story. You don't know it. I don't care what you think. I think I took 5 to 6 years, definitely.
Yeah. Well, I think what helped me apart from my faith, remember, I was very strong in my faith. My family, my dad was very happy to see me. And my mom, and they never really questioned, why are you back? Yeah. So that, but I also, because I had gone through so much here trying to understand where the system's not working. And I knew the only way is when I go back to Kenya, and a very positive-minded person. I have no room for negativity in my life, in my head.
Hallelujah.
Even if you search, you will not find any trace of negativity in my head. So that helped me. And I was like, there must be a way out. As I said, that is something that really keeps me going. Maybe I'll mention that when I was studying, something also happened. I was like, they're damned. There must be a way out. So I ignored people because at the end of the day, it is about you, not what people are saying. It's about you, Carol, and yourself.
Exactly.
Your 2 legs,
Yeah.
your 10 fingers,
Yeah.
your face. It's about you. It's not about Wambui. Wambui is about you. So I think that's something we need to embrace. In Esther Linia's Germans, es geht um mich.
It's about,
Es geht
about
erstmal
you.
um mich.
Yeah.
So once you sort yourself out, then you'll be able to deal with the crowd. And also I had the financial support, so I didn't need to borrow people. I didn't need to ask people for money.
Yeah.
So I only needed somewhere where I can stay. And then I told myself, what are these Germans doing in Kenya? Was machen die in Kenya? They must be having some job for me. So
And of course, your purpose, I think that also plays a role. Your purpose for coming here was not to save your family back home.
Yeah.
It was to grow.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, and
You
if the
didn't have
purpose
this
is growth,
burden.
you didn't have the
this
burden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this burden,
Yeah.
many people have this
Yeah.
burden.
Like I would
And you
never have gone
cannot
home like
go
that.
home.
Yeah.
You will try everything.
Yeah.
Everything to stay here because everybody is looking up to you.
Yeah.
There are people who the father has sold the cows and almost everything. So they are expecting you
Yeah.
to help. So when you don't have that burden, you're free. You're a free person.
Yeah.
You're a free person to decide, I'm going back and I'm okay with that. So you had that advantage.
Yeah, I had that support. But I think it's also something that we also talk to families. If you're sending your people out there, even if you sell that land, don't have very high expectations because these are very new systems and sometimes things do not work for some of us. People come here, you have a psychological meltdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think also maybe try to have that dialogue. Tell them, give me time to settle.
But Caroline, that is the impression we are not. Those are the things we don't tell people at home.
Yeah.
So what we are doing is posting photos of on Facebook and on Instagram, looking nice and just standing in front of a car and just showing people the life. So everybody thinks you're swimming, your bathtub is full of money. So that's why they have these high expectations of you. We are not telling our stories, and that is what we said.
Yeah.
This is what
why
our
we want.
podcast is also
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
We want to tell our families and
The
people
raw
at home
deal, yeah.
to see and to know what difficulties, what challenges we have here. That many of us are going through mental problems, depressions, because life is not like we expected it to be
Yeah.
when we were at home.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
it's a challenge, really. And I think it's important for many of us to communicate that
Yeah.
with the family. Call your family and tell the truth.
Tell the
Don't
truth.
be ashamed.
Yeah.
I remember there was a time I was, I'll say this. I was, some things come up that one is not intending to talk about. I was, let me say, abused by my own family, and I was told, let us be knowing our sister is Maju abroad, and she's poor. Just this kind of abuse because,
Yeah.
and that hurts. That hurts because you're trying everything
To make things work, yeah.
to make things work, and you're not swimming in money, and you're trying to be a part of the family and to contribute in every way you can. But when you're told, wewe uko tu maskini huko majuu, that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah.
And people at home, please try to
Yeah.
understand our
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not easy here.
Not a walk in the park.
It's
Yeah.
not. So you're here. So it means you came back.
Yes. So I worked in the hotel, and I was very good at what I was doing. I had learned to be very good in what I was doing. Here, that 1 year taught me a lot of things. So after within 6 months, they promoted me. So they employed me. I was the F&B controller in the hotel. Yeah. F&B control, you do the back end, you do the accounting and you controlling the sales of the hotel. Then after 2 years, I left. I was still learning the language, by the way, because you can never go wrong learning the language.
Yeah.
So I left and I joined an Austrian baker. So called
Bakery.
Ernst Valley Bakery.
Yeah.
Yes, I was doing sales.
Okay.
So I had some conflict in the hotel, so I left and I
This
joined.
is all in Nairobi.
This is all in Nairobi.
Okay.
So I got to know about this Ernst Valley Bakery. The owner was Austrian, who was baking German bread. So we used to bake brezel, all those German products that Stollen, all these different Brötchen and all these breads. And we used to sell them in the high-end supermarkets for Germans.
Okay.
So my work was in sales. So I would wake up in the morning and roam around. I go to Conti, so I know all the supermarkets, Modaiga Mini Market, Village Market.
Those high places.
Those high, yes, because the bread was expensive. It was going then for 80 shillings.
Wow, yeah, that's expensive.
And the normal bread was still 20 shillings.
The
back
normal
then,
bread
right?
was about 20 shillings, yes. So
Because today, right now, it's 80
Yeah.
shillings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a new change because I had never done sales. Remember, I'm in the office, so this was field work, taking matatus, going up and down. But I said, well, this is the only job that I have. And by then, I'm still supporting my brothers. And sometimes it was very tough because this Mzungu had a lot of dramas, and sometimes he could not understand why we are doing things the way we are doing things. But there's something that I learned from him. There's something he told me, Carol, I don't care whether we have customers, but we have to sell quality products.
Wow.
That is good.
Yeah.
Es ist mir egal, ob Kunden kommen oder nicht.
You have to maintain.
Es geht Qualität. And I remember like sometimes we would go to the office and we find the office is full of bread rolls, wondering what happened. So the bakers, what happened was because he was so good, he huge contract with NAS, Nairobi Airport Services. So we're delivering to the airlines. So of course you have to make sure the quality is good. So if he comes and find like the bread rolls are not really like the right size and they're burnt, so he would just hit that crate and make sure that they're dumped. So he told me one day, Carol, these bakers can bake in Europe. He was so good. There's a place we used to buy butter. They were shocked because they said they have never sold so much butter. Like, what are you doing with this butter? Are you eating it? Said, we're making croissants because
You were doing it with butter.
yes.
Real croissants.
Wow.
Yeah, so to cut the story short, so I worked there, did sales, and I did a very good job. I became one of the best employees in the company. I'm still
Again.
going to church, by the way. And then we had to do a promotion, and he told me, Carol, this is something that really, because like it was my turning point, I still refer to this. He told me, Carol, I want us to do a promotion, and I don't want to see those ugly croissants in those gas stations. I said, oh, okay, I've never done a promotion in my life. And he told me, Carol, go and get for me 2 roots. I said, hey, 2 roots, for what? So the first question was, where do I get these roots from?
Roots?
Yes, roots, like ein Wurzel, ein Baumwurzel.
Roots, yeah.
Roots.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm thinking in German and Kiswahili, and I just don't know what
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
going
there's a
on.
Baumwurzel.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow. Okay, so I went to the curio shops and asked them, do you know anyone who sells? That's how this Klaus was. Klaus would just throw an idea and go. So you have to think. I was just like, wow, okay. So then we found this lady. They told me, there's a lady selling roots. I said, you mean you can even sell roots?
Wait a minute. Are we talking about roots?
Yes.
He told you to go get roots.
Yeah, root. Yeah, wait, let me finish.
Okay.
So
I'm hanging.
we
Yeah.
found this lady in her apartment somewhere in Kilimani. Her house. Have you seen apotheke decos? Have you seen the apotheke decos with those roots?
Roots, yeah.
That's what she sells. She goes to Mount Kenya and collects those trees that are maybe old. So she would cut off,
Dry roots.
clean the root, polish it up, and put it there. They used for displays.
Oh, okay.
Another business idea. So I was so shocked to see her room was with beautiful roots, and I was like, wow, so what is he going to do with it? He was a Meister baker. So we bought 2 roots. The following day, he was so happy. He was dancing in the office. The magic he did with those roots. Once. So we set up a demo at Chandarana supermarket in Nyaya.
Yeah.
So he put this root and put like some nice rye bread from, those German breads.
Yeah.
And some grapes and some.
Just decorating the
everyone,
root.
decor. Everyone would just come there, stay for 5 minutes.
Wow.
So he used these roots to display his bread.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wish I can get that picture. I just send it to you, see what he used to do.
Mind blowing. Imagine making money from roots.
Yes, that's why I always believe you can do anything.
Mind blowing.
So anyway, so I left. I stayed there. And then after seeing this, I started my own business. So
Of
I
doing what?
was I was doing sandwiches. So when I was doing sales in this company, I saw another Mzungu who was driving a very big car selling sandwiches. I said, if he can drive such a big car
Selling sandwiches.
selling sandwiches.
Let me try.
And every time when I was during doing my au pair, I could go into bakeries and see the German breads. It just fascinated me. So I said, let me try. So I did the first 6 sandwiches. Remember, I'm very passionate about food. And then I put them there to see if I can buy them.
Okay. What did
Always-
you put inside?
Always think about if the client can buy what you're selling. So I had chicken. So I decided he was making them with Farmer's Choice and this sliced bread, toast bread. So I said, no, I'm going to look for a nice bun and buy chicken and shred it and so all by myself. So I bought and I was like, nah, I don't think I can buy that. So I started looking for another bread and I found one called the Tiger Roll. If you Google the Tiger Roll, it's a very attractive bread. So I made some and I placed them there on the display in my little apartment in Dandora. No, not Nandora, Babandogo. I said, I can buy
This
it.
one I can buy.
So the following day, remember now I had already created contact where I was selling this.
Breads.
Yeah. So I said, I'm having a product. Can I bring some samples tomorrow? I had also acquired some sales skills. Never ignore any skill you learn in life. You never know. So I went, I took my sandwiches. There were 6 of them. He said, oh, we've never seen anything like this. Tap. He paid me. I was selling one at 60 bob.
Wow.
One sandwich.
They were good. Free chicken, fresh chicken. So 6 sandwiches. The first money in my pocket.
Wow.
I was in heaven. He told me, bring 10 tomorrow. I said, what? You mean this thing can sell?
So what were you doing with the
600
chicken?
euros.
You were
I was just boiling it.
Ah, okay.
Putting salt and maybe a little bit of pepper because I don't like spicing food because you don't know people are sensitive. And then they would warm them up, put them in the microwave. So I was putting tomatoes and cucumber. That's all. No sauce, nothing. So they used to put sauces themselves. I used to sell them at the petrol stations because they have all these sauces.
Yeah.
So within a half an year I left, I started doing my own business.
Wow.
And then along the way, one of the 6th au pair got an admission with a grade C because I had a C in my KCSE.
Yeah.
Now an au pair now back in your family, the family
Yes.
that now
Yeah.
got
But
6 other
one
au
of the
pairs.
one of the au pairs, yes. So they said, Cara, you can come back and study. There's a university that is accepting people with a lower grade. I said, oh, I had to close the chapter of coming back here.
And you are now successful
I
business
was doing
owner.
well. So I struggled. I filled up the form, sent. I got an admission
You got
Where?
an admission with a C.
with a C, yes.
Where? You got an admission where?
Bayreuth.
Bayreuth.
In
Where
Bayern.
Wangari Maathai went.
Yes.
What?
I was to go to Bayreuth, yeah. I never went to Bayreuth anyway, but that's where I got the admission from.
So you're now you're doing your own business. You've applied for this university, and they've accepted you.
Yeah.
But wait, did you not have to do Studienkolleg?
Wait.
Yeah.
Of course, you get this letter to go to the student colleague.
You apply to the university first.
Yeah.
And then when they accept you is
Yeah.
when you do
So now for the
Studienkolleg.
student colleague, it depends. If you're going to the Fachhochschule student colleague, you apply direct to the Fachhochschule.
I think this
Oh.
is something I don't want us to rush, because actually that is why you're here, to explain these things. The one before this was just getting to know you and what you've been through. So I think at
We'll
this point
set another date.
we end this one here, because otherwise we'll be speaking for 3 hours. And then our next conversation, we are starting now with you in Germany. We just do a pause and then bring this conversation next week.
Makes
What do you
sense.
think? Yeah.
It makes sense because I'm
otherwise-
also wondering, because this is so different from what
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this is why I really want to
And this
understand
is
how
very
you did
interesting,
it.
even for people who are in Kenya.
Yeah.
Because this lady, she is the one who tells us,
Yeah.
if you want to know how to come to Germany, to learn in Germany, she has all this information. AG Career Hub, if you have not subscribed, if you go look for them, and you can see their address down here. Go look for AG Career Hub, and then we continue with this conversation. Yeah? Yeah. Then, guys, see you next week with a continuation of this conversation.
Exactly.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye for now. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.